everyone, it's Casey, and today I'm going to be reviewing the book Sounds Like Me, My Life So Far in Song by Sara Bareilles. This is a non-spoiler review, so if you haven't read this book, that's not a big deal. You can totally still watch this video. I'm not going to give anything away. So let me start off by saying that I am a big, massive Sara Bareilles fan. I've loved her ever since her first album came out, and I've seen her in concert 3 times. So I am a little biased because I just love her as an artist, but I will try to make that not cloud my judgment on my opinions of this book. So, like most books I read, there were things I really loved about this book and things I didn't like so much about this book, and I'm going to share them with you. First, I'll tell you the things I did like. First of all, I think Sara Bareilles is such a talented writer. I knew she was an incredible songwriter, so I was wondering if she would be great at writing books too, because I know that those two things are kind of different mediums, but she was such a great book writer. The writing was so poetic and honest and beautiful, and I really enjoyed reading it. The second thing I really loved was the formatting of this book, like how it was set up. So the tagline is My Life in Song So Far, and I had no idea what that meant when I was about to buy this book. I was like, does that mean it's going to be song lyrics? Like, I don't understand. So what this is every chapter of the book is titled with one of her songs, and that chapter kind of explains how she wrote that song, which also correlates to a story in her life, if that makes any sense at all. Basically what I'm trying to say is she writes her songs from real life experiences, so while she's telling you the story of how she wrote that song, she's also telling you a deep, like, personal life experience that happened to her that brought her to the point of writing that song. Which was such a cool setup for a memoir, because you still got the story of her life and a memoir type book, while kind of getting, like, the backstory on the business side of it and how she wrote these songs. I really liked that. Another favorite part of this book was actually a chapter, which is weird that I would even talk about a specific chapter in a review, but to me personally, this chapter is what made the book really worth reading. It is a chapter called Beautiful Girl, which is named after actually my favorite song by her, which is really weird that my favorite chapter in this book is named after my favorite song by her. This chapter was so amazing. It was written in the format of letters to her past self. So there was a letter to her from her in middle school, high school, college, all throughout even her adulthood until now. Basically kind of like a I'm telling you what I know now kind of thing, like what she wished she had known back then, the advice she would have given herself, which kind of sounds like it might be cheesy, but it was actually so heartfelt and beautiful. This particular chapter allowed her to really open up to her audience. She's shared some, like, deep, major stuff in this chapter. It got really intense. I almost cried, but I really loved the way she set it up, and I just thought it was so beautiful, and I think that's even worth the whole book, honestly. Although maybe now I'm building it up a little too much, so don't expect it to be the best thing that ever happened to you if you read it. I just really enjoyed it. Alright, now I will talk about the things that I did not like so much about this book. The first thing is the length. This book is under 200 pages. It also has a lot of pictures and pretty big font, so it's a very short book. Usually I love short books. I'm totally fine with short books, but it almost just wasn't enough. Like, I was almost asking myself why she really wrote this book, because toward the end, after I finished it, I was like, oh, that's the end. And that's not to say that I didn't love it and that I didn't learn a lot about her, but there just maybe wasn't enough material there to write a whole book. The second thing is, I'm a huge fan of hers, like I said. I don't know how much people would like this book if they are not a fan of hers. She gave us insight on a lot of things that have happened in her life, a lot of things that I knew had happened, a lot of, like, tours and a lot of things, just a lot of things that have happened. She just gave a lot of insight, which I really enjoyed as a fan because I loved hearing her side of the story of these things. But if you're not a fan, I don't know how much you'd get out of it. You might like it. You might discover a new artist that you really like, but you also might be bored if you don't know who she is or if you just don't care about her. So yeah, those are really my only 2 cons to the book. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I don't know if I enjoyed it so much because I'm a fan of hers or not, but overall, I think she did a really great job. Overall, Sara was so humble and down to earth in this book, and it really just made me love her even more than I already did. I really think she wrote this book for herself, like as a therapeutic thing, because she talked a lot in this book about how she loves to write and loves to journal, and it almost had that feeling of a very personal experience for her. I don't even feel like she was writing it for her fans. I feel like she was writing it for herself, which makes me think to myself, it's okay if it's short. It's okay if it doesn't have a ton of material in it, because she really wrote it as kind of a therapeutic thing for her, and that's what she wanted to do. That's what I think anyway. I don't know her, but it felt that way. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you later. Bye.